5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring 'em out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events.
Major show alert.
All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out. You're now rocking with the best.
Here I am, God damn it. Here I am. Welcome to the Romello Marcellus Show. I am he and he is me. And here we go.
1, 5.
Hey, Gerald.
The world is here. Yeah, we Hazel and Kia. Party with me, Kia and Hazel.
Anyway.
Hey, Doodoo.
We in the motherfucking Lincoln.
The motherfucking link.
Saratoga is here.
Uh-huh.
I said, ACE All Stars. Let's turn this motherfucker up.
Anyway, it's Monday, man. It is Monday.
Told you can thank it later, fellas.
Hey,
Put your groove on, baby. Ladies to the floor right now. I'm ready. Turn this motherfucker right up. Nicola. Birthday shit. Gucci. 5 double O in the building too, yo. Keep it right there, Smoke. Self-Wood. My V800s, they stop through. That's what we talking about right there, Damon. DJ, you know Trinidad is here.
Hey, team.
Third world, let's rock. B-Street, let's do it. On top, go. I need to bop, 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 bop. Hey, freaky time, let's do it. I might need a few extra minutes. Southern man, hey, Mo, you know we gotta do it.
All right, man.
Might need a few extra minutes tonight, y'all. And
Monday,
T-Street,
man. And,
21st, and 4th Street. Let's take a ride. Let's take a ride, yo. Let's say ride in a motherfucking road. Bop, 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 bop.
it's on, man. On the road.
Hey, Ashley, I know you came to party with me. Trina, hey, Mia. Southside Honeys is here. 501. We gon' really take a ride, y'all. Let's take a motherfucking ride. Let's take a ride, y'all. I say riding in a motherfucking road. Niggas talk shit, I don't know. Made 100 plays in a boat.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Perfect. As I was saying, man, it seems like some people lost the game last night, or lost at game, or lost at a game last night. And man, it's a shame when you know what? Let me go ahead and start this, man. Let me do this proper, because I'm trying to get accustomed to my new set. You see my new set. I'm trying to get accustomed to it and operating and moving along with it. But for all intents and purposes, the show. Cardi B drama. Jay-Z and his rumors. And the Epstein files. Just like everybody else, I got to touch on it. But then we're going to get to the real meat of the show itself. While you sitting there pondering it, man, think about it. Have you ever fell in love with the work? If you don't know what the work is that somebody that was always just something to do? You never really had to put the work in because they were to work and you were just working. Yeah. So I wanted to call this segment something else, but I chose to just write it out the way it is right now. I wanted to call it Celebrity Circus and Billionaire Baddies and Bad Business is what I wanted to call it. So But I decided to change it and use the name so that I can do like everybody else and get me some click and some baits and that kind of shit. But I ain't gonna talk about it. My thing is, I look at the TV, and I'm sure just like you, and if we rolling our scroll lines or whatever, even though we may not have the same algorithms and so on and so forth, we see a lot of it because these people are trending. Okay, so every week we see the same circus roll right into our town through our cell phones, our television, our radio, and even though that some of the celebrities are different, they're the same clowns, same scandals, same tired ass scripts. And you got billionaires in black tuxedos, and you got rappers in fur coats, all sorts of colors: pink, yellow, lime, green, candy red, whatever color you can imagine. And you got Instagram models in designer gowns, all standing next to the same people at the same parties, on the same yachts, on the same planes, flying together like birds of a feather and acting shocked when the same names keep popping up. Here's the thing, man. Their names keep popping up in the same dirty ass files, right? At some point, we got to know, just like they know, it ain't no goddamn coincidence. It's a membership. And now we look at the celebrity world we live in. Here we go. We got Cardi B trending every other goddamn week about relationship chaos, some social media war, some I'm done, no I'm not, yes I am, no I ain't, reality TV show disguised as some bullshit marriage, right? To elevate or escalate her career at that point in time. And it did what it did. It can't knock the hustle. But you got people that are running around here eating it up like a Shakespeare. Yeah. But I'm here to tell you, baby, there ain't no goddamn Romeo and Juliet. This ain't nothing but some love and hip hop on a bigger budget. That's all. There's two people with millions of dollars still acting like they arguing over a phone bill in a studio apartment. That's all. That's all you see. What I will say is this: money don't buy maturity. You know the saying that, hell, you can go to school forever, but you can't buy class. Same thing. Same scenario. Money just gives you more room and more opportunities for bigger dysfunction. Yeah. A better lighting package, a better everything. Yeah. Glam squad, all that shit. That's all. Then you got Jay-Z. He's now in the midst of conversations. Keep surfacing. Every time they talk about the Epstein files, he getting mentioned. Now you got folks around him throwing little small digs and shit, talking about how he was fucking on Rihanna. When he first got hooked up with his now wife, I think they say that she was 16 at the time and he was 27. Sound like another R. Kelly to me, allegedly. But you ain't hear it from me. I'm just passing it along with what's allegedly being said or allegedly being put out there. I'm not saying what's true or false, but I am saying this. When the same social circles keep overlapping, right? When the same billionaires keep popping up in the same daggone parties, and when the same jets keep flying the same routes, and you start to realize Hollywood ain't no goddamn dream factory. It's a country club. Yeah. And everybody in that club ain't there because they got some goddamn talent. Some of them there because, heck, they know too much. And some of them there because the motherfuckers done too much. Yeah, so you got to keep in mind who's hanging around, who's keeping who around. Because, the enemies, you got to keep them closer than anything. Yeah. See, the public still think fame equals virtue. No, man. like just because somebody made a hit song, sold billions of records, or married a superstar, that means their morality, they're had, or even they have any morals. Yeah. A lot of them men are suffering in ways that you could never imagine with their morality or lack thereof. Unscrupulous motherfuckers. Some of these people are just rich hood celebrities that have better lawyers because they can afford it, right? Some of these moguls that are rolling around here ain't kings, they ain't queens, bit more than the man in the moon. They just survived longer than the rest. They ain't got caught yet. And that's happening. Trust me, you do anything long enough, it's going to come and get you. And let's be honest about the culture for a second. We glorify the messiest relationship and we worship the loudest personalities. And we celebrate the most toxic MFers we can find. If it's peaceful, ain't nobody clicking. Ain't nobody sharing it. And nobody cares if it's stable. But let me be clear, man. Let somebody cheat, fight, or post some sort of cryptic ass message, right? Unfollowing each other like Cardi B did with Stephon Diggs right after the game. You know, basically that's saying that, nigga, you ain't win. What you hit my phone for? I look at it like this, man. Sometimes the course has run its course with people. They've gotten what they want from you, and they're gonna move on. I feel for that child that she's carrying. Don't see it lasting. Wasn't something supposed to last. You married. Why you even, in the midst of doing this thing? Yeah. I guess it's going to be a diss track somewhere, at some point in time from her. or like she does anyway. Most of these guys, they sit around here, they marrying and they divorced in 90 days out. Now, it's couple goals. It's the emotional foreclosure. And now we're on to these Epstein files. What I want to know is how many people are actually in it. Or is there really a file that put people where they say they've been? I mean, I'm sure you got the flight records and that kind of thing, but when are we going to actually get to see it? Unredacted, that is. Yeah. Because every time they resurface, you can feel the industry get nervous. Everybody around it. Suddenly people start sitting on their hands. They stop tweeting. They stop certain names stop trending and shit like that, right? And suddenly everybody got amnesia. Don't know nothing. Funny how that works. When it's gossip, everybody talking. When it's real power, real money, and real dirt, everybody gets quiet and running for the hills. Just like when Sean Combs got convicted. You didn't hear about anybody, but everybody partied with this motherfucker. You can go back and look at all the tapes. Everybody was at his party. Everybody was clamoring to get an invite to the parties. And you can't go sit here and tell me, yeah, I left at certain time. Nah, motherfucker, you closed the party down just like everybody else. Lies people tell to keep themselves looking unscathed and clean. Your hands are just as dirty as everybody else. Knees too. And everybody's got an opportunity to come and get a 15 minutes worth of shine, whether it's somebody like Lil Rod, who allegedly said that this man did something to him. I listen. Some shit you got to just take to your motherfucking grave, nigga. You a father, you a son, you got shit going on, man. And I guess you seeing an opportunity to get some money, but God damn it, it won't be like that, man. Then you got the little girl coming out now in R. Kelly's case, Sparkle's niece, with her book, and now she's speaking out at almost 90 years old. When she had the opportunity to speak out, nothing was said. whatever that might have been or whatever those reasons are, man, you know what? You can dress it up, God damn it, put a bonnet on it. It's still going to be a motherfucking pig. Yeah. What I will say is more power to all those that seek their 15 minutes of fame. Yeah. But a lot of these role models are not celebrities that are seeking to be glorified. They just want the money. Just well-dressed cautionary tales. A lot of them. Yeah. So here's what I will say, and I'm going to leave this alone. Fame don't make you powerful, and money don't make you clean. And in Hollywood, the guest list tells you the real story, not the red carpet. Yeah. Take that with you. Take that with you. As you think about all these people you're seeing around, right? It's crazy. I think, man, a lot of people's chickens about to come home and roost because we're in a day and age where exposure or exposing folks is the new gravy train. Especially when you have someone that is exposing you or you're able to expose someone whose business is not as in order or not as intact, where they can't quickly hit you with a cease and desist for the things that you have said and done. And damn, it's a shame, man. Some people I really hope they see their time, man, for the things that they've actually done to some people. Yeah. So moving right along, man. I did my little celebrity piece. I came to do that, man, but now I want to get to the meat of my show. Here's the topic, and I'm gonna give you the subtopic, and I'm gonna swap out of this. It's dangerous when you fall in love with somebody who was just something to do. This tags on to my book, Confessions of a Side Dude. And it's not just for dudes, and it's not what you think it's about. It is about the mental bandwidth and the capacity to receive aspects of said relations, whether you have expectations for them to last or not. Because as humans, we all have the same emotions. We all have the same feelings. Okay. What I'm going to do first, right, before I even get into this, I want to kind of share something with you. That is, if you bear with me. I'm going to get into it. I want to read a little bit to you and see what you think. All right, here we go. This is chapter 1. The first time I wasn't supposed to be there. Here we go. The first time I realized I wasn't supposed to be here or exist publicly, nothing dramatic happened. No door slammed, no voice was raised, no confrontation followed. It was quieter than that. She was sitting across from me, mid-sentence, when her phone lit up. I watched her eyes as they shifted, not in panic, but in calculation. She didn't reach for it right away. She kind of paused just long enough to decide who I was and who I was allowed to be for that moment. That pause said everything to me. She stepped away to answer the call, leaving nothing to guess, but lowering her voice, even though no one else was there but us in the room. When she came back, her energy changed, not colder, but more careful. That was the moment I learned what secrecy actually felt like in that moment. It isn't excitement. It isn't danger. It's containment. From that point on, I understood the rules without them being spoken to me. I knew where I could sit. When we went out, I knew which place and time and spaces were off limit. I knew when silence was required. I knew which questions were welcome and which ones would shift the whole mood. And the strange things is, I adapted quickly. That's how the situation survived. Not through passion, but through adjustment. You learn how to shrink yourself without noticing. You tell yourself, being mature, understanding, and flexible is the flex. You call it a discretion. But discretion isn't natural. It's instructional. It teaches you what part of yourself is convenient or inconvenient. I wasn't being hidden because I was a secret. I was being hidden because I didn't fit into the version of life she wanted to preserve. That distinction matters. See, a lot of times people proceed in ways and mannerisms of folks and believe that they feel the same way that they do, but they don't. You're merely an outlet, an option, and a host of an option. Back to it. At first, I didn't feel diminished. I felt chosen. I told myself that intimacy didn't require witnesses. That connection didn't need labels. That what we had was private, not shameful. Because being hidden doesn't feel harmful at the beginning. It feels exclusive, like access to something others don't get to see. But exclusivity without acknowledgement eventually becomes erasure. And once you accept erasure as the price of your entry, the rest of the compromise comes easily. That was the first time I wasn't supposed to be there. I just didn't know yet what it would cost me. So here you go. You got somebody who's entered into a situation, man, who's thinking that one thing is one way and it's actually another. But the problem is, as you're going through it, you're believing something about it, and it's totally different than what you were actually feeling. Because at any given time, you know what? Here's the biggest thing. In the midst of that, the biggest weight of it all is that because you are the outsider or the extra, you're bearing all of the emotional risk. Because this individual's already decided where they want to be, but it's not happy for them right now. For whatever reason that is, it's just not now. And you are the just for now. So let's talk about the part nobody wants to admit. You didn't fall in love with them. You fell in love with the access, the convenience, the late nights, the secrecy, the chemistry that excited behind closed doors and nowhere else. But they weren't building with you. They weren't choosing you. They weren't planning with you. You were something to do. And the cold part, you knew it. You knew it from the beginning. You knew you weren't the only one. You knew you were, or you knew the relationship had no daylight, no structure, no future, no accountability. But you stayed because the intimacy felt like connection. Connection felt like meaning. And that meaning felt like some semblance of love, which was bullshit. And that's where you lost yourself. That's where you lost the game. Because now you're emotionally over and caught up in someone who never emotionally cloaked or clocked in with you. Now you want standards from them. You want standards from someone who never even met your expectations at the door. Now you're asking for loyalty from someone whose entire lifestyle is compartmentalization. Hell, they lined your ass up when you got together. You already knew they had someone else. You were the side individual. You were the something to do. in the meantime, until or potentially if they did or did not, then 9 times out of 10 they probably still wouldn't have chosen you. Yeah, they didn't betray you, and you know you feel like they betrayed you, but they didn't betray you. They outpaced you. They outpaced you. Yeah. See, they know how to separate boxes. You were a box, a moment, a release, a goddamn distraction. Moving around, you're dating, you're kicking it, you're on the phone, you're texting. Yeah. While you out here catching feelings, they were just catching the convenience. And now that you asking questions, now that you want clarity, now that you're holding them to a standard you never required up front, they flip the script. And you know what flip scripts look like? They ghost your ass. They erase you. Yeah. You're no longer a priority. Not that you were ever really a priority, but you're no longer a priority at all to any level. You're a disruption. You're a problem. Now you're insecure. You're doing too much. You're trying to control them. Like I said, bottom line, you're the problem. And that's a power play. All of that's a power play. Because at some point in time, they got to sit back and villainize you, you know? Because instead of facing who they really are, that's the outcome. They have to villainize you so they can keep operating how they've always operated. And let's be honest, they were never going to rise to your expectations anyway. Why? Because you tried to turn trash behavior into treasure commitment. It's just facts. So you try to pull depth from someone who only lives on the surface. Yeah. You try to build structure with someone who survives in chaos. Can't do it any other way. Hell, you look at it for all intents and purposes, they're going back home. That should be the mindset anyway. If you're out here playing these kind of games, they're going back home. You're not home. They're visiting, or you're visiting, or you're meeting up somewhere. Yeah. You try to demand accountability from someone whose whole identity is bent on not being accountable. You know, there's a lot of dangerous shit you can do out here. And I'm seeing more and so now that one of the most dangerous things that you can do is mess with somebody's emotions out this motherfucker. Because you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know where they've been. You don't know how many screws they've lost over the years and the roads they hadn't traveled. You don't know how many bumps in the roads they may have hit. And you don't know. You know, it's like driving a car and you don't put any oil in the motherfucker. After a while, the engine blows up, correct? Stops running, shuts down. And there you're on the side of the road. Yeah. Shame. But the bigger problem is that to even engage in something like that, you have to put yourself in the mindset that you have shrunk yourself. You have lost value in sight of who you truly are. Because here's the part that would hurt most people in this situation. They're not losing sleep over you. They're not spiraling. They're not going to spiral. They're not replaying any of the goddamn conversations that you had with them. Because to them, this chapter was already closed. They had the conversation with me, myself, and I. And you were not a part of the decision. And they just acted on it. Yeah. While you were still writing paragraphs, they were already done. So no, this ain't about heartbreak. This is about self-betrayal. You betrayed yourself. You ignored the terms. You romanticized the role. You fell in love with a situation that never promised you love anyway. And the lesson is, never give emotional privileges to someone who only showed up for physical access. Never demand commitment from someone who benefits from confusion. And never be surprised when someone treats you exactly how they introduced themselves to you. You weren't wrong for feeling. Shit, we all catch feelings sometimes, man. Sometimes we catch feelings with the wrong motherfuckers. You were wrong for expecting more from someone who told you without words that you were never more to begin with. And that's been your trigger the whole time. I say it all the time, man. The hardest thing you can do is forgive yourself for some dumb shit that you let happen to you. I'm telling you. I've seen some foolish motherfuckers do some foolish shit. Motherfuckers sit back and fall in love with the work. Nigga, you know better. She a doorknob. Everybody done had a turn. Or, shit, you as a lady, you fall in love with a motherfucker that's out here. 90 babies. He ain't taking care of shit. He ain't doing nothing. But you heard something about him and you are inquisitive and you want to go and explore that. I ain't got nothing for you, girl. And a lot of y'all dating married men. Better leave them niggas alone, too. Sure, you can send him home to his wife after you finish, but at the same time, you don't want that wife showing up at your doorstep, throwing some battery acid in your face. And some are willing to do that because all the hell he's taking them through. God damn it. I done gone this far with him. He mine. Yeah, you're going to have to take a back seat to this right here. God damn. I don't know about y'all, man. We live in a rough day and age right now where everybody's going through something mentally and spiritually, whether it's their own lacks or, as I thought, we talked about just a few minutes ago, their desires to want to believe in something else other than themselves or someone other than themselves and being disappointed. Sad thing. What I'm seeing more of is, even through the social media platforms that we are on or dealing with, how we're seeing more and more violence. And no one's perpetuating love in any aspect, no shape or form at all. I don't even hear women talk about love anymore. Talking about what they can get, what they can do, and what they can do for themselves. That's it. There was a time when, conversations were of that nature. Even music, we always know the music's changed. We speak about it all the time, and we know why it's changed. I guess the same thing is inherent to how we conduct ourselves in our relationships, which is bad. In the book, I talked about different scenarios where guys are usually the ones that are in the seats when they're doing this side dude thing. Because here's the thing, right? What I do know about females will come and fuck around with a man and he's got a woman. But the minute she get a guy, oh, I'm with my guy and we can't talk no more. That's just facts. So, who's more treacherous? I don't want to draw any divided lines or any lines, right? But God damn it, it is what it is, right? And it's scary because a lot of the guys that are being brought up by these women, these very same women, have the same tendencies or the morality of how they operate with each other, right? So, all right, let's just say this. For all intents and purposes, you meet a guy, you like him. But your question is, or should be, can he handle his how do I say it? His manage his emotions properly. How's that? And I'm saying that in the sense that if things get out of sorts, how is he conducting himself? Not everybody's going to be able to conduct themselves and say, all right, well, shit, fuck it, I'm done. Depending on the amount of investment and what's believed in the individuals that they put these investments in, I believe that there should be some sort of exit strategy or exit conversation if it has to end, as opposed to just erasing and ghosting and being extra cordial. You have individuals that'll play with you like that too, and all of a sudden they change their conversation up and how they handle you, how they deal with you, and they become extra cordial. Cordial just to keep the peace, right? When in all actuality, sometimes you got to go ahead and rip the fucking bandage off, because sometimes people need to be reminded. You know, it's just what it is. And to remind people, a lot of times is what the very thing that they needed to jar their asses up and get them together where they can actually come back to reality. Yeah. I'm saying that because part of the book, there was a situation where someone was not afforded that and they had to carry the emotions that they carried. And this brought forth situations where things happened to folks that was unnecessary. Can't change it now that the things have happened or once they happen. But what you can do is at least respect the individuals enough to give them some understanding and out, closure, whatever you want to call it, even if you were just toying with them. Honestly, sometimes, you have to be willing to check in with each other while you're doing the shit you're doing. Hey, what's up? How you feeling? I want to be sure you ain't too far gone on your emotions. I want you to keep this shit in perspective, that we just having fun. We on some Cyndi Lauper shit. I'm not looking for anything serious with you. You are merely an outlet for me right now. And yeah, our friendship means a lot in its own way. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. But this is the status of us, I mean, more so in the black community. I was on a situation earlier, and let's look at the ratio for black men and black women. Do you know that right now in Atlanta, they're saying there's 29 women for every black man in Atlanta? And I can believe it because of the things that are going on. But they're measuring those one men based on the hypergamous nature of the view, what he has going on, how's he living, the wealth factors and all that kind of shit. But there's plenty of other men out there that are not, I guess, measured on those lines. I mean, a lot of blue collar workers that are good men, but then you do got the other shiggity that exists, and that's in every city you go to. But does it make it difficult for you to find somebody? Probably. But then are you prepared for the one that you do find, or that the one that actually shows up for you? A lot of times you aren't, because you are still sitting back in the mindset with the sense of entitlement that you expect more and you have more and you should be getting more, when you have given yourself more. When in all actuality, keeping it simple is the best way to go. Are they respectful? Are they consistent? Can you build something with them? What's the long game look like? Are they, some people would say transparency is cool. Okay, transparent, but are they honorable about their intentions when it comes to you? And do they consider you? Consideration is a big factor. Even in these side relationships, you got to consider who you dealing with. You know what you bring to the table. You know what you can do and can't do. On if it's physical, you know what you bring to the table. If it's mental, you know what you bring to the table. And can someone potentially lose themselves in that? And if so, then how responsible are you, or how irresponsible? I mean, it's irresponsible from the jump, but how responsible are you going to be in the midst of the irresponsible shit that you're doing? Yeah. And most are irresponsible to a fault, to the goddamn end. Yeah. I just think about how people set out to do things, right? See something you like, someone you like, you speak, you present yourself, and then you commence to fall. Then you realize you didn't fall in love with a person, you fell in love with a position. I said it before, man. A lot of ladies, man, end up being that late night call. You're over 35, you're pushing 40, you're in your 40s. On an average, motherfucker ain't really trying to build no life with you. Too much work. You set in your ways. You did your own thing. A lot of you just want what you want and how you want it. You ain't willing to change and do shit. So it's just what you become. I say, man, when if you were ever in an establishment or a lounge or a nightclub or an event on the late night, when the lights go up, look around and see how many people's faces are actually in their phones and what they look like and who they are. I promise you, right around that time, at 2 to 3 o'clock hour, I call that the bewitching hour, the second bewitching hour. So they're the late night text, the call, the secret text, that emergency thing at night. Yeah. The ego stroke. Yeah. That broken glass in case of loneliness option. Yeah. You got all that going on. A lot of y'all are just functions in niggas' lives. Not even a fixture. Same with you guys. You have no idea. You number 3. You number 3 or you number 12. Number 3. That's how they save you in the phone. As a matter of fact, here you go. A lot of ladies will save dudes in their phones, man, as other things like, nigga, you Chick-fil-A or you Bank of America. I'm being honest. Shit. You just on the schedule. You something. Whatever that use is, that's what you are, nigga. You Starbucks. Wawa. Hey, I'm just giving you some game. God damn, I am. Yeah. See, functions get replaced and fixtures get protected. So if a motherfucker got somebody they even locked in with and they just need a little something to get them by because shit is trouble in paradise, yeah, you'll become that. Any one of those things. See, a person will protect what they truly value. Yeah. They'll schedule it, they'll secure it, they'll prioritize it, all that good shit. But when someone only uses you for a feeling, you ain't a priority. You're a utility. Yeah, just like the gas, just the lights, like the water. Yeah, like tissue paper. You're a utility. Utilization. Yeah. Man, only utilities only get turned on when they need power. Make it make sense. You ever notice how they never had time for real conversations, but always had time to get you undressed? Or not even get it undressed, just whip it out or flip it up. Yeah. Never had time to build, but always got time to lay up some motherfucking well. Ain't planning no future. And always got a motherfucking excuse. That ain't confusion. That's intentional. That's an intentional design. They knew exactly what box you were in. You were the experience, not the investment. And the moment you tried to change roles, the moment you started talking about commitment, respect, loyalty, and all that shit, now you're doing too much. And why? Shit, because you trying to renegotiate a contract, nigga. Contract was already etched in your blood. Yeah. It was never written in your favor. You were hired for one position. Now you're trying to apply for a promotion in a company that never planned to keep you anyway. And the cold part, they'll replace you with someone else who understands the assignment and keep it pushing. Someone who won't ask no questions, won't request no standards, and won't require an ounce of accountability. Yeah. Because accountability it ruins the fantasy. Screws that right up. And people who live double lives can't afford no goddamn mirrors. So what do? They create confusion, they gaslight the shit out you, deflect, they make you feel crazy. Crazy for wanting to what you should or you felt like you should have required from day one. And now you're sitting there heartbroken over a situation that never had a heartbeat. You're grieving a role, not a goddamn relationship. Mourning the access, not love, because it was never love. And you're missing the routine of it all, not the person. You just like what it felt like. See, deep down, you knew. You knew you weren't the only one. You knew you weren't the priority. You knew the phone went silent after certain hours. You couldn't get them people. You knew the plans were always last minute. Yeah. You never met certain people. Your name wasn't spoken in certain rooms, but the intimacy distracted you. The chemistry. That numbered your logic. Yeah. While you counting it, it put your punk ass right to sleep. Right in your brain. Your logic went right out the window. Yep. The attention gave you just enough validation to ignore all of the red flags waving in your face. And now that it's over, you want closure. I got to retract what I said earlier about that conversation or having some sort of understanding of closure. You know why? Because closure only comes from something that was open. And you would never fully let in. God damn. I'm a bad motherfucker. He was just something to do. And the real trigger is this. You ain't lose them. You lost the illusion you built around them. Because they were still exactly who they were when you met them. The only difference now is your punk ass finally see it just for what it is. Yeah. That's it. Wow. If y'all struggling with it, man, I wish you the best. I wish you the best, man. You got to have some self accountability. You got to get yourself to the point where you can give yourself, man. Because a lot of y'all, you knew and you stayed anyway. So let's stop pretending this was all their fault. Because somewhere deep down, the chemistry, between the chemistry and the conversations and all that bullshit and the swapping of the bodies and the feelings and all that bullshit, you knew exactly what it was. You knew you didn't have a real place in their life. Your present wasn't even, it wasn't even, it was just conditional. God damn it, that's all I'm going to say about it. You knew your access was based on some convenient shit. And the energy was different in public than it was in private. You felt it. When the phone would suddenly go silent, you felt it. Plans would get moved around. You felt it. When they'd act different around certain people, you felt it when your name was never mentioned in future conversation. They ain't had no plan for you, but you ignored the feeling because the intimacy felt real or felt good. Huh. And sometimes the body of lies will always sit there and at some point put the weight on your heart. Just to keep the moment going. But that's what you told yourself. That's what you told yourself. And you also told yourself this. Maybe they just need some time. Maybe they've been hurt before. Maybe they just don't trust easily. Or maybe if I show them some consistency, they'll come around. No. No. Not at all. They weren't confused, healing, and they weren't trying to figure nothing out, nigga. They knew exactly where they were. They were comfortable using you up, keeping you in a certain goddamn box, knowing you cared more than they did. And that imbalance, that was the power. Because the one who cares the least always controls the relationship. That's just facts. The one that cares the least controls the relationship. So while you were investing emotions, they were thinking about tonight. Yeah. While you building all this attachment, they building distance. And when it finally blew up, when you finally demanded clarity, respect, and a title and position, they didn't rise to the occasion. Shit, they retreated like a motherfucker. Lined you up, made you the villain. Shit, because you were never the occasion. You were the escape. And escapes don't come with responsibility. They come with pleasure and exit routes. So now they've rewritten their story. Now you the crazy one, the clean one, the one who caught feelings, the one who misread the situation. But let's call it is what it is. You feel like you misread something? You ain't misread anything. You just kept reading the book. The book, when it came to your chapter, was already going to be short. Here's the hard truth of it all. You fell in love with the fantasy version of this individual and the fantasy version of yourself that existed when you were with them. These moments weren't reality, just temporary stage flights. That's all. I came on, put a little paint where it ain't, man. I said what I had to say, goddammit. What you say? I'm still working my set, y'all. Fuck with me here. Here, let me play this for y'all while I'm sitting here doing it.
Gotta maintain, stay focused. Riding in a motherfucking road. Niggas talk shit, I don't know. Yeah, made 100 plays in a row. Hey, Southside, hey, that's a whole lot of pressure. Yeah, hey, third world, let's go. Yo, hey, that's a whole lot of pressure. Whole lot of pressure in here, hey, uptown. Hey, that's a whole lot of pressure. Hey, ready, yo. Hey, mainstream, yo. Hey, that's a whole lot of pressure. Hey, whole club, hands up like this. Hands up like this. Hey. Hey, 1, 2, hands up like this. Hey. They got their hands up and ring the alarm, y'all. Hey, D-Street,
You like the show?
hey.
Let's see you follow me.
Hey, let it rock. Fuck, party with smoke. Tony T is on the bells, y'all. Hey, Tony T is on the bells, y'all.
If you like the show, man, make sure you follow me. Follow me right here. Also, follow me on Facebook. And Instagram. And as I do when I do shows like this, man, there's a big question in who we are and what we're doing. Either you fucking up or you fucking down. And if you fucking up,
What do you see in the individual that you're with that you see in yourself? Sideways is cool if you're in your 20s. Well, damn, okay. I was always thought it was either up or down. I mean, sideways is just nothing. That's lateral moves keep you where you are. I'm not understanding that. Are you fucking above your station, meaning are you a low value individual seeking a high value individual and you can't keep up because you're trying to come up and you fucking up and the individual knows that he's fucking down or she's fucking down or vice versa. Same thing I said, man, retrospectively. It starts with you. Last evening's conversation was very, very, very deep and a lot of people, I'm sure you had good takeaways from it. Trust that people are going to be who they are, and you're going to be who you are.
Yeah. Are you fucking up or are you fucking down? All you get you some understanding, man. I know it's a little late. 10:30, Monday night. I need to get y'all some rest. Peace.
5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring them out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events.
Major show alert.
All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out. You're now rocking with the best.